You know the script. I mean, we all know the script.
Oh, yeah.
It's been drilled into us forever. You go to school, you get a degree, you land that first job, and then you start the climb.
The latter.
The ladder, exactly. You put in your time, you get senior added to your title, then maybe manager, then director. It's linear, it's predictable.
For decades, that was it. That was the definition of a career. It was
Yeah.
comfortable. You knew where you stood.
Right. But I have to ask, is that actually still true?
Yeah.
Because we hear this kind of death of the career talk every few years, you know? Every time the economy wobbles or some new tech drops, someone writes an obituary for the corporate ladder. Is this real? Or is this just another buzzword to make us work harder for less security?
That is the cynical take. And, usually I'd be right there with you.
Yeah.
But what we are diving into today suggests this time really is different.
Okay.
We're looking at a really provocative article by Johan Steyn. It's called From Ladders to Portfolios, Redefining Career Progression in AI.
Ladders to portfolios.
And his argument isn't just that the vibe of work is changing. He's arguing the mechanism of promotion itself is breaking.
So not just the philosophy, the actual process.
Exactly. He's saying AI is literally eating the rungs of the ladder you used to climb.
Wow. Okay, that's a vivid image. AI eating the ladder.
It's intense,
Yeah.
but the data he pulls from places like PwC, Business Insider, the Financial Times, it all points to the same thing. We are moving from a world of titles and tenure,
How long he's been there.
right, to a world of capability portfolios.
Capability portfolios. That sounds a little HR heavy, I gotta be honest. Let's break that down. If the ladder is broken, what replaces it? Because people still need to get promoted. They still need raises.
They do. But the currency has changed. In the old model, the currency was time.
I have 10 years of experience, therefore I'm an expert.
Yes, it was the proxy. We used years served as a shortcut for skills acquired.
Which, to be fair, it usually worked. If you survive 10 years in finance, you probably know finance.
Probably. But this is where the disruption hits. Steyn points out that AI is reshaping the task layer of work.
The task layer.
Think about what a junior or a mid-level employee actually does all day. Drafting emails, summarizing reports, analyzing basic data, writing that first bit of code.
The grunt work, the stuff nobody really wants to do, but it has to get done.
Exactly. And AI is getting incredibly good at that stuff, at producing that output.
Yeah.
So if an AI can produce the product, the report, the code, the value of the human worker shifts.
It's not about producing the thing anymore.
No, it's about verifying and applying the thing.
So my value isn't that I can write the report, it's that I can tell you if the report the AI wrote is actually good or usable.
Precisely. And that requires a totally different way of measuring value. You can't just say, I've been here 5 years. You have to demonstrate it.
You have to prove it.
And this is why Steyn highlights what's happening at a place like PwC PricewaterhouseCoopers.
I saw that in the notes. That feels huge. PwC is, they're the kings of the traditional ladder. You're an associate, then a senior associate, then a manager.
Right.
If they're changing, something real is happening.
And they are. They're completely reorganizing their training, their progression, all around evidence of what you can do, not job families. It's a seismic shift.
So they care more about verified skills than where you sit in the hierarchy.
That's the signal they're sending. And it's not just branding.
But why now? Is this just them trying to look modern?
I think it's survival. And what's interesting is the students seem to get it before the managers do. The source material points to a Financial Times report.
Oh yeah, about the surge in graduate applications to PwC UK.
Exactly.
That seems so counterintuitive to me. You'd think if AI is disrupting an industry, graduates would run away from it, not toward it.
But they're making a very calculated bet. They're looking at these traditional entry-level jobs at other companies, and they're thinking, this role might not exist in 5 years.
If I just sit at a desk and push papers, I'm dead in the water.
Exactly. So they see PwC's skills-first model as a kind of lifeboat.
Yeah.
They're trading the old prestige of a title for the safety of verified competence. They want a place that will force them to build a portfolio.
Because they know a portfolio is the only thing that travels.
It's the only thing that's truly yours.
Okay. We keep using this word portfolio. And I have to be honest, when I hear it, I think of an architect with a big black case of drawings or a graphic designer.
Sure.
I don't think of a project manager or a supply chain analyst. How does a regular corporate employee build a portfolio?
This is the biggest mental block people have. We have to strip away that idea of the creative portfolio. In this world, a portfolio is just a A case study library of your own judgment.
Okay, give me a concrete example. I'm an accountant. I don't draw. What's in my portfolio?
Okay. So instead of a resume bullet that just says, managed Q4 audit, your portfolio entry is maybe a one-pager.
Or like a short video walkthrough.
Perfect. And it details a specific anomaly you found in the data that the automated system missed. It shows the AI tool you used to isolate it. And here's the key. It documents the judgment call you made to flag it.
So it's not the task, it's the story of the task. It's an artifact.
It's evidence. It's something you can slide across the table and say, I didn't just do this job. Here is how I changed the outcome.
That's a lot harder than just listing your responsibilities.
It is, but that's the point. It's about proving you have these higher order capabilities.
Higher order capabilities. That sounds like jargon. Let's translate that.
Fair enough. Think of it this way. AI raises the floor of performance. It can write a good enough email or a good enough piece of code in seconds.
So good enough is now a commodity. It's not special.
Not at all. The higher order capability is just a fancy way of saying, can you look at that AI output and know if it's actually right for this specific context?
So framing the problem, not just answering it.
Yes. AI answers questions. Humans have to define which questions are worth asking. It's about spotting risks, making decisions with incomplete data. That's your portfolio.
And the market is actually demanding this.
Aggressively. There was a Business Insider report that AI-related job listings are surging, even while other hiring is slowing down.
Wow.
AI literacy is becoming a baseline expectation. It's like knowing how to use Microsoft Word in the 90s. If you can't show you can work with these tools to solve harder problems, you're in trouble.
Okay, this brings us to the part of this deep dive that, honestly, it kind of kept me up last night. Stan calls it the training dilemma.
It is the most critical point in the article, and maybe the biggest risk to the workforce right now.
So let's think about how we learned. I have this vivid memory of my first real job. I was staying late, eating bad takeout, manually reconciling these massive spreadsheets.
Oh, I know that feeling. I hated every second of it. But 6 months later, I could spot a typo in a spreadsheet from across the room. I had absorbed the logic through the pain.
Yeah.
Exactly. You paid your boredom tax, and in return, you got intuition. That was the apprenticeship model.
Yeah.
You do the repetitive tasks, and through that repetition, you build the muscle memory for the business.
But now, AI does the repetitive tasks.
Right. So where does that leave us? We have this massive risk. If AI clears away the grunt work, how do junior employees ever build judgment?
If they never have to wrestle with the raw data because an AI summarizes it for them,
Yeah.
how do they know when the summary is wrong?
They don't.
This is the part that should scare anyone in their 20s right now. Use ChatGPT to skip the boring stuff. You get praise for being fast. Maybe you even get the promotion. Great.
Right. Short term, it feels great. Long term, it's a trap.
Because 5 years later, you're a senior manager, a crisis hits, and suddenly you realize you're hollow. You have the title, but you never built the intuition to solve the hard problems. You're a paper tiger.
Business Insider explicitly warns about this. They call it the shortcut trap. If a junior uses AI to solve a problem they don't actually understand, they've bypassed the learning by doing phase.
They have the output, but not the understanding.
And that seems like a disaster for companies too. If your whole middle management layer is hollow, your business is incredibly fragile.
So what's the solution?
Well, Steyn argues that a capability portfolio only works if the company deliberately designs pathways for competence. You can't rely on accidental learning anymore.
You have to. What, simulate the struggle?
That's a great way to put it. You have to simulate the struggle. Create scenarios where juniors have to exercise judgment, maybe without AI, to prove they get the mechanics.
Like a pilot in a flight simulator. You don't learn to handle an engine failure by letting the autopilot fly.
Exactly. You learn by dealing with the failure in a safe environment.
So if you're a leader listening to this, you can't just give everyone a license to Copilot and say, good luck, be more productive.
No, that's just negligence. Steyn breaks this down for different groups. For CEOs and boards, capability building has to be a measurable business system. Not just HR fluff, not just a poster on the wall that says, we value learning. Right. It has to be real metrics. Time to competence. How fast can you get a new hire to a point of verified skill? Redeployment speed. If the market shifts tomorrow, how fast can your teams pivot?
And the World Economic Forum is already tracking this stuff.
They are. They're seeing AI affecting wages and hiring signals in real time. If you're a CEO and you aren't tracking these skills, you're flying blind.
So what about HR leaders, the CHROs?
They have maybe the hardest job here. Because of what Steyn calls the credibility test.
Credibility test, what's that?
It's easy to use skills-first language in a meeting. Everyone loves to hear it. It's very hard to make skills-first decisions on promotions and pay.
Ah. Are you willing to promote the person with the verified skills even if they haven't put in the time?
Or pay someone more because they have a critical capability, even if they're lower on the org chart than their manager?
That would cause a riot in most traditional companies.
It breaks the old social contract. But the argument is you have to. You have to build internal skills marketplaces. And you have to train managers to evaluate capability, not just confidence or politics or who sits closest to them.
Right. A portfolio is about evidence, not proximity.
Exactly. If you let politics decide, the whole system just rots.
Okay, we've covered the bosses in HR, but I want to talk to the person listening right now, the individual. This shift, it sounds exhausting.
It is.
I have to do my job and constantly curate a museum of my own work.
It's more work. I won't sugarcoat that. But the message here is a mix of unsettling and empowering.
Let's start with the unsettling part.
Your title offers less protection than it used to. Vice president on a business card doesn't shield you if you can't prove what you can actually do in this new world. If the company restructures, that title just dissolves.
And the empowering part.
You are not tied to that linear path anymore. If you can build that portfolio, document your wins, your projects, your skills, you become portable. You become resilient. Steyn uses the phrase explain and defend.
Explain and defend.
Can you stand up and explain how you solve that problem? Can you defend your judgment call? If you can, you have value, and that value belongs to you.
Not the company.
Not the company. You can take that portfolio to a competitor. You can take it to a whole different industry.
That's a really important distinction. The latter belongs to the company. The portfolio belongs to you.
And the IMF, the International Monetary Fund, even weighed in on this. They made the point that it's not solely on the individual. We can't just tell every worker, good luck, figure it out.
But for the person listening, you can't wait for policy to save you.
No, you can't.
So let's bring this deep dive in for a landing. We've gone from this comfortable, predictable ladder to the chaotic, evidence-based portfolio.
And the summary is this. The shift is rational. The world is changing faster than job descriptions can be rewritten. If you stick to the old script, you're playing a game that, well, it just doesn't exist anymore.
Steyn puts it beautifully. He says titles won't disappear, but they will lose their monopoly on meaning.
That's the key takeaway. The winning formula for companies and for you is making capability visible, measurable, portable.
The most valuable workforce is the one that can continuously prove what it can do.
Proof over pedigree, evidence over tenure.
It's a brave new world. And before we go, I want to leave you with a thought, a mental exercise. It's a little uncomfortable.
Go for it.
I want you to imagine your job title and your company name were just stripped from your resume today. Gone.
Wow.
Just blank white space where the prestige used to be. Do you have the evidence portfolio required to prove your value? Could you show, not just tell, what you're capable of?
That is a tough question.
And if the answer is no, or maybe I'm not sure,
Then you know what your homework is.
you know what you need to do tomorrow? Start building, because the ladder is gone. Time to start building your portfolio. Thanks for diving in with us.
We'll see you next time.